I'm Sam Franklin, 1998 graduate of Queen Anne's County High School, 1994 graduate of Stevensville Middle School, and proudly a 1990 graduate of Canal Elementary School. After graduating from Queen Anne's, I went to college at a small liberal arts school in Ohio called Kenyon College. I majored in political science, and after I graduated, I joined a program called Teach for America that takes students who didn't study education and trains you and supports you as a teacher in some of the poorest, most disadvantaged school districts in the country. So I taught sixth grade math and science for 3 years in Oakland, California public schools. I had an amazing experience. My students were incredible, inspiring people, and I left that experience with a lot of ideas about how schools could work better for students and for teachers. So I went to graduate school at a university called Carnegie Mellon, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there I took those ideas and I worked with a group of other graduate students, as well as many leaders in the community and the school district itself, to design a high school that would be capable of helping all students, regardless of prior academic success, succeed in advanced coursework before they graduated and graduate ready to either go to college or prepare for success in a really relevant career field. Eventually, I opened that school, which is called Pittsburgh Science and Technology Academy, and it's doing really well. It's now the highest performing high school in Pittsburgh. It attracts kids from all over the city, and it was a really exciting project to be a part of. After the school opened, I continued to work for the superintendent of schools, and I led a 5-year effort to improve teaching across all 54 schools in Pittsburgh. This is a huge project supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United States Department of Education, and many others. And we were working on ways to evaluate teachers' performance and provide teachers with feedback that could help them improve, help them better serve their students, and help them all do the job that they really want to do, which is be a great teacher. I worked on that for 5.5 years, and now I've come back to Carnegie Mellon as a professor. I teach about education policy and about how to lead change projects from start to finish, about working in public sector organizations like school districts, about public education in the United States. It's a really fun and exciting job in which you get a chance to not only share and teach, but also to learn a lot. I learn a lot from students, and I've learned a lot from people in the Carnegie Mellon community. I also continue to would encourage you to pursue a lot of interests outside of work. Probably the thing that I'm most excited about and most proud of recently is becoming a dad. I have a 2-month-old son named Ezekiel, an amazing wife named Leslie, and I couldn't be happier about that. And no doubt that's the most important thing that I have going on in my life. I've also continued to be active. In high school, I was an athlete who played 3 sports, and in college, I played basketball, and so I've tried to continue to stay physically active and fit, and I've dabbled in fun and creative projects using video and audio, including poetry, rapping, making fun, silly videos with my friends, which has always been a hobby of mine. In high school, I had an amazing, fun, positive experience. I was involved in yearbook. I took weightlifting classes. I was involved in journalism in the school newspaper. I took the academic part of high school seriously and found that the classes like AP English, calculus, history were really important. Um, and I also had a really rich and positive social experience in high school. So I look back very fondly on my experience at Queen Anne's. And one of the things that I appreciated it teaching me was how to value, appreciate, and listen to all different kinds of people. I loved that there was at that time just one high school in the whole county. And so every morning it was like this convergence of kids from all over the county with parents who had such different um, kinds of careers, people from all different races and all different socioeconomic backgrounds, rich kids, poor kids, um, kids from growing up on huge farms, kids whose parents commuted to Annapolis, all going to school together, and that was really really powerful for me and influential in shaping my view of the world. Um, but I also noticed that not everyone, in my opinion, was getting the same positive experience that I was. I was lucky to have parents at home that encouraged me to read, to have a home full of books, and parents who really encouraged academic progress. And I was lucky to enter school at a high level academically, and so I was kind of tracked into college preparatory classes, and I felt like I often got access to the best teachers, the best resources that the school had to offer. But excuse me, I felt like some of my friends who I thought were really smart kids, I didn't think that they were afforded some of those same privileges, and they were sometimes tracked into lower academic courses, didn't have access to the same level of rigor and challenging academic opportunities. And so I thought Queen Anne's was an amazing school, but it was an amazing school for me, and I didn't see it necessarily providing that extra support to help all students succeed and graduate, prepare for the kind of opportunities that exist in today's economy. And so that was really one of the things that turned me on to wanting to work on education issues and improving the quality of education in our country. And there was also a racial component to this that bothered me. I saw racism present in the school and in the community. It's something that we don't talk about enough. Excuse me. And I felt like many of my black friends in high school, in my opinion, were not getting as good a chance at a good education as I was. And the Eastern Shore really has an amazing black history that I also don't think we learn about enough. Just to give you an example, two of the most famous figures in African American history, Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, both born on the Eastern Shore. There we had a slave-based economy, and slavery is a real part of the history of our community. But I had to learn a lot of that history on my own because I don't think that our schools were really doing enough to dig into this and explain the history and the story behind some of the inequality that exists in our community. And this is not just something, by the way, that is an issue with like Queen Anne's County, or in particular. I think it's true of our country as a whole. And there are many high schools like this that are providing really good experiences for a lot of kids, but not necessarily designed to support everyone. In particular, people that don't come to school with a strong academic foundation from the beginning. So it was. So I'm very grateful for my experience growing up in Queen Anne's County and for my experience at Queen Anne's County High School, both for all of the positive experiences that I had and the amazing social experience, but also for some of the, even for some of the, what I would consider to be the more negative side, or the things that we really have to improve, because it turned me on to things that have remained really important issues for me, that I've continued to dedicate myself to trying to work on and improve. So, my so so I feel, again, feel very grateful for that. Excuse me. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to add. I guess, um, in terms of advice, I hope you can take some things away from the story that I've shared. I guess if I could think of a few things that come to mind in terms of advice, I would suggest, for one, like, learn something and pursue something deeply while you're there. I don't think that high school has to be a time where you pick your career path and where you choose what it is that you're going to be focused on for the rest of your life. But when you dig into things that you're passionate about and you learn something in a deep way, you're teaching yourself how to learn. And you can then later on in your life apply that same thought process and those same habits and that same pursuit of rigorous thinking to other things that you care about and that you want to pursue. So, uh, have that experience of finding something and really digging into it in a way that challenges you and pushes you, and master something that you love. Thank you. Thank you.